So there's some things I just wanted to clarify. Um, when I'm posting online, um, I try really hard to post things from my heart, things that I want to achieve. I try to speak in a way like as if what I have is already here. But I also speak up trying to explain situations that I'm in that are really hard to, stomach. And so I know a lot of people are really freaked out listening to them, and they aren't like, they're not shiny, sparkly, good feeling stories, but I'm constantly fighting. The situation I'm in right now, I know it would break a lot of people, and it almost broke me, and I broke in several ways. But I just want people to know that I think you have to be careful how you read into things, because sometimes when someone is merely stating something just to get a point across about what they're experiencing or what's happening to them, it isn't the same thing as being negative or, cursing the world. And when I speak of certain people, I've noticed a lot of other people will take offense, and you know, I don't have time or energy to like constantly look at each and every single person and see whether or not they're going to be defensive. But I don't want people to think that it's about them. I'm a kind of person that really actually appreciates everybody that I have, and tries not to make people feel bad. Sorry, Greg came in the room. Um, and I don't want anyone to feel bad. And I have a million family members, so I think everybody should know not to prejudge anything they've read or to assume it's about certain people. I have very close relationships with certain people, and others I don't. And I want to make it very, very clear that regardless of what's happened, I do forgive more than I hold on. Um, in order to work through it, I do have to talk about things, but I think people kind of forget that. I don't know. They people often will look with their own like skewed version or their own perception of who I am based on how they met me, or they'll read certain words and they'll read it with rage when I'm simply saying it in a matter of fact way, or I'm saying it in a poetic way, or I'm saying it in a totally different way. So you have to be careful um, with how you. I have to be careful with how I say things, but people have to be careful how they, um, what's the word? How they interpret things. And I'm ready to not be villainized, and I'm ready to, I will take fault. Like, I will own my faults, but I also am adamantly standing up against being bullied, being abused, being, having people gaslight me, having people lie to me, having really important people in your life that are supposed to support you, like doctors and certain people who, claim to be so close to me, who are abusing me. And I think it's important to remember that if you're listening to something, it is not always about you. And it doesn't mean that this isn't like that you don't matter, because I think about everybody, and I care about whoever reads, or whoever looks at this. I care about you, or you wouldn't be on my list. Even if we've talked about something in a support group, and you inspire me in some way. But we have to be careful how we treat each other. We're gonna have to, in the upcoming months, with all that's going on. Like, there's some crazy stuff going on, which we're gonna learn, and we have been learning. But what we need to do is remember that people have like lots of different sides to them, and also we're gonna have to realize that there's gonna be a lot of flawed people out there that are doing good things, and there's gonna be a lot of good people out there who are doing screwed up things. Same thing, but we're also going to have to shift our perspective, because everything's changing. The world is changing. Energy is changing. The rules are changing. Like, And, it's okay if you don't understand what I'm saying right now. I mean, maybe sometime you will, and maybe it just applies to me. But I really, really want people to know that I try to be as honest and open as I can, and I'm trying to find my life outside of bed, and the only reason I made a video right now is because I actually have makeup on. And I would like to make sure people understand me a little bit better, and I don't know. I probably should have written something out so I was more eloquent. But I really want to make sure that people understand me a little bit better. And, you know, it may be deceiving. Maybe people think that I have a million people around me all the time, but I don't. I'm really thankful for Greg and all the help, on his help. I have some friends who come through, and I have some family members who have offered certain things that have helped me keep going, and I'm so thankful for that. But I'm pretty alone in a lot of aspects of my life, and I really want people to understand that if I have a moment of weakness, or if I'm saying something that you don't understand, please try not to jump to conclusions, because actually, really, I'm a sensitive person, obviously, and I can feel things, and I can feel the dark, negative things that people have do to me, or say about me, or feel about me, and I don't know how I can change that. I can't change your perception. I can't change your experience, like maybe your experience with me when I had hit my limit. And some people have met me when I hit my limit. I was being abused, or I was trying to make things work that weren't working, and they have that view of me. And then there's people on here who have the view of me as being this chipper, happy teacher who's singing all the time, and who all I want to do is play, and that's the side of me too. So just remember, there's different sides of everybody, and I want you to remember that I am not ruled by anger. I am not ruled by fear. And just because I say I will give you results to some of my tests, but that doesn't mean that is the only thing in my life. I would not be here if that was the only thing in my life. So anyway, I want people to understand that, and also that we all need to try like a lot harder to be more loving with each other, more understanding, more accepting with each other, and not to jump to conclusions. And if someone has a website and they have this picture perfect life, you know what, that doesn't mean they do, like in the it's image. And some people do that for their job, so don't judge them on that. And also, don't judge someone in the throes of depression, someone who wants to kill themselves, or someone who's hit really hard by a death. We all respond differently. And it's important that we don't take each other down, and it's important that we try to have a more loving approach, a more forgiving approach, and a more open-minded approach. I definitely know that I need that. And sorry, it's sometimes when I breathe, it's like the crushing pain in my ribs. Now, having a moment of clarity, or semi-clarity, I know I'm all over the place, but I wanted to speak out for everybody else who's going through similar things. Like, we all wish we could be like everybody else. I mean, in the aspect of being healthy, I can't even talk, healthy, happy, and to have the people and things that we need, our basic needs met. And we really need to stop destroying each other. And I'm I'm not innocent as far as gossiping. Most of the time it's just silly stuff, or people I care about and talking crap about their guy or something. But it's time to be honest with ourselves that we have dark sides, we have shadows, we have things that we wish that we could change, yet we're hiding that and shaming people who speak on it. And I think that's an important thing to remember and to change. And also, it's a daily thing. everything that we are trying to do or trying to change ourselves to be, it's not going to happen overnight, and not everyone's going to figure things out at the same time, and we all have a different purpose and journey. And so try to be loving with one another, try to forgive one another, and remember, you aren't alone in your pain. And although some people might have it much worse, some people might have it much better, that's, you really can't compare things. Although you can compare, like, okay, someone has $1,000,000, this person has, like, $1,000 a month to live on. Yeah, life's going to be a lot easier for them, for the rich person. But you don't know what someone's going through. You don't know what they post versus what they don't post. As for me, I have spent like months and months crying. Like, if I videotape myself any of those times, I was a complete wreck. Right now, I'm just trying to keep my pain down on my ribs, and I have a semi-okay moment. But you have to remember that not everyone's going to show you their darkest moments. And if they do show you their darkest moments, instead of crushing them or mocking them or, talking crap about them, be there. Or at least back off and don't say anything. And, if you feel someone is hurting, if you can't do anything specifically to help them, try not to harm them. Like, that is my biggest thing, is I'm seeing so many people harming each other. And it's disheartening. And take it from me, like, with all the shit that I've been through, I still love certain people who have destroyed my life. And I still have feelings to work through. But I don't think people realize how harsh they are with each other, especially with these keyboard jockeys and support groups getting petty and stuff like that. I just want people to know that they aren't alone, and that if you're vulnerable, that's great. If you hold it in, that's fine too. But we need to unite. There's a lot of stuff coming up in the future, and a lot of new things, and our world is changing. And there's a lot of things that we don't know that we will know soon, and we need to start being better to each other and to ourselves, and to learn to have boundaries, but not to throw out people entirely because you don't agree with them, or because you think they're being dramatic or it's too much to handle. We need to value each other, and I value all of you, and I wanted you to know that. And if you made it through all this, then congratulations, you get to comment. I'm just kidding. I don't know. But I love you so much.